We are on the trusty Daytona 675 today, and I say that because Lauren here, she really has become my reliable motorbike. And we're also on a milkshake run. Not a one-off go there on my own style milkshake run. No, this is an actual milkshake run after paint and bike night. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that I'm on my own. Well, yes I am. You'd also be forgiven for thinking maybe I'm at the front of the pack. I rarely ride at the front of the pack. I'm normally at the back filming because you get better footage. But no, this is a milkshake run. Yes, I am on my own, and that's because I left paint and bike night late. So I thought, you know, what better time than now to give a quick garage update so that I can update people on what's going on with my many vehicles, because I do have 5, and that's not a brag. If anything, I may have a problem. There was a time when I was happy just to have a car, just one car, and then I wanted a bike, and I was happy with just one car and one bike, and then I got a second bike and a second car, and I guess I always had the Mini, and of course my son has 2 motorbikes. So, where are we at with all of these vehicles? Well, as I say, Lauren here, she has become my reliable motorbike. Her radiator that we changed about 9 months ago is going strong. We also did her battery upgrade about 6 months ago. And now I can leave the bike several weeks and she'll just start. Not that I generally leave the bike several weeks, it's just that recently I'd pulled a muscle in my neck, and so I couldn't really ride. And so I was leaving it 2 weeks at a time in between rides in order to heal. And each time I've done that, I've come back to my Daytona, and despite the fact that she hasn't been used for 2 weeks and she does have an alarm, which is a drain on the battery, despite that, she starts first time every time, which is good, especially since my 125 is in pieces. And my YZF R125, you've probably seen it. If not, I'll tell you where he's at right now. He's been through the wars this year with his stator problem and regulator problem, and now I'm doing his wheels and tyres and his exhaust, shock links, etc, etc. So he is almost back together, and where my last video left off is exactly where he is right now. His refurbished wheels and brand new tyres are back on. I believe the point that we're at now, because his shock's back on and his shock link, his swing arm, etc, etc, we are a chain and sprockets and an exhaust away from Rafiki being back on the road. Percy, my classic Mini, haven't done anything with him for several years. In fact, the last time I worked on him was, when was lockdown? Yeah, that's how long ago. So there's not much to say on my little classic Mini, other than the fact that I still have him. He's still a project, and maybe one day we'll get him on the road. But for now, I'm still driving the 306. The 306 has I could actually do a video on him just on his own, actually. So the 306 has 1 month left on his MOT, and he still has an airbag light that I really do need to fix this month before his MOT. He also redid his tyres. He's got a broken glove box. He's got a broken gear knob, but he hasn't broken down in 6 months. And that's a bit of a brag, actually. It shouldn't be. You know, a selling point of a car shouldn't be, it hasn't broken down in 6 months. But given how bad that car has been, I mean, that car has ruined my memory of 306s, and oddly enough I still love the damn car. because it's fun. You know, I hear his turbo spalling before I've even left the drive. I don't know who's done what to that car in the past, but his turbo really loves to spin, and he's definitely got more power than my 106 Quiksilver. I will definitely miss the 306 when he goes, which should be pretty soon. And although the 306 does have a broken gear knob, we have got a replacement. It's not an original part, but then it doesn't really need to be with the 306. It's not a particularly original car, not like my 106. If it was the 106, I'd definitely want an original part if I could find one, but things like that are getting quite difficult to come by. So we've got this replacement gear knob, which, as far as replicas go, it's not a bad recreation actually. It's going to look quite at home in the 306, once I've fitted it of course. But I will miss it a little bit. I will definitely miss the turbo. I'll definitely miss the power, because as I say, he does have a lot more power than my 106 Quiksilver. Who, by the way, Lexi, my 106 Quiksilver, someone asked me, do you know where your 106 Quiksilver is? I'm assuming that you've sold the car, and I think people had assumed that because she hasn't been on the channel for so long. No, I still have the car. I still have Lexi, and she still has a blown head gasket. Took me far too long to start that piece of work, and that was because I bought the 306 to drive whilst fixing the 106, and the 306 wouldn't stop braking for long enough for me to actually do any 106 work. But since the 306 hasn't broken down in 6 months, I have finally started the work on Lexi's head gasket. And at the moment, she's on my drive with no front wheels, and half of her engine bay is currently in my shed because the strip down has gone as far as it can possibly go at the moment. The inlet and exhaust is all off, and so is the cylinder head. So the cylinder head is getting sent off to be skimmed and to have the valves checked and adjusted, etc. She has 147k on the clock. I don't know if she's going to need valves, valve guides, valve seats. In fact, the engineering shop won't know until they get her stripped down. And what's interesting is, having taken the cylinder head off, seeing inside her coolant galleries, because the contents of her radiator looked like chocolate milkshake, and that is everywhere. It's throughout the whole engine. Absolutely disgusting. So hopefully a couple of months and she'll be back on the road. And well, I guess that's it for my vehicles. But of course my son has two of his own. So my son has the Lexmoto LXS, known as Gadget, but Gadget hasn't actually been out in, I don't know, it's got to be about 5 months now. You may see that bike again on the channel, maybe, maybe not. And then lastly is my son's bargain basement cruiser called Freedom. Freedom is a Lexmoto 125, Lexmoto Vixen 125. She was the bike that I had to go and rescue at Christmas. Fun little bike. Doesn't have the power to pull the skin off a rice pudding, but she is so much fun to ride. And yes, my son still has this bike, but because he's taking a break from biking, he's not riding that one either. So Freedom is also sat in my garage gathering dust, unfortunately. Someone did ask me, have you still got your Vixen? When's the next video? And I had planned to make another video. It just unfortunately hasn't happened yet. I would need to take a look into the insurance situation first. Because my son's taking a break, I'm not sure if he's still got his bikes insured. I'm pretty sure he has, but I don't want to go taking a bike out and then finding out that it's not insured. So I should look into that, and if his bikes are still insured, I shall take them out and make a video.